Hey everybody, welcome to another Spoilercast. We've got the gang back together. The old guard, the uh the reliable three, the spoiler aficionados, the
Oh my
spoiler
god.
musketeers.
Is any of that
All
true?
right. None of them are true.
We're ready to spoil a game that came out 6 years ago. Uh it's I'm Alex O'Neill, as I mentioned. I have with me Jared Green
Hey,
and
Ugh.
Jacob Bryant.
Hey, I
You
think
guys
I
are
beat you in creepiness.
so enthusiastic. I mean, we talked about doing this like what last month, and then Jacob and I were playing Bloodborne. We're like, we should probably do that.
you
We
talked about
forgot.
doing it for like a year.
It's true.
It's true.
I didn't want to do it before, like right before The Witcher 3 comes out. It's a week away from where we are now, which is crazy to think. I
It
don't
is
know.
officially. Reviews are up.
Yeah, reviews are up.
Supposed to be
That's
good.
also coincides with today. People like it apparently.
Apparently. So
92.
depending on which forums you like check out, people didn't like it as much as they should have, or liked it too much because it's the internet.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I kind of expect that kind of mentality at any point. I mean, like I'm sure somebody said like we liked The Wolf Among Us too much. Someone was just
Not
like,
possible.
"Fuck that garbage." I will say again because people keep asking me. No, we're not going to do spoiler cast for Tales from the Borderlands or
Should be.
Game of Thrones
We should be. They're
unless
so good.
unless you two want to do it. But like Jerry, you're not even playing Tales from the Borderlands.
No,
You're playing Game of Thrones, and then you stopped midway through episode 3, and you're like, "Fuck this."
I have to finish episode 3,
Yeah.
but yes, I am
Um,
playing it.
if I can get you two together, get you guys to dream team it up, I'll make it happen. But stop asking. Jacob and I are doing
You're
Life is
annoying.
Strange, so that's good. That should be good enough for you.
Isn't that good enough for you people?
Yeah, isn't this teenage drama enough to satisfy you?
God, is it ever? Is it ever?
God damn.
So good.
Are you sad, Jacob, that Life is Strange episode 3 did not come out today like it was supposed to?
Yeah. Actually, I was this one. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about the way.
All right. So we're going to go through The Witcher, spoil the shit out of that game. So this is your spoiler warning. If the title and the whole thing.
If Witcher spoiler cast wasn't good enough.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about what we think that might play into The Witcher 3 and just kind of talk about The Witcher 3 in general. So hopefully this will be brisk.
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 So
The
it is a
T.
pretty short. It's a pretty short game, so this really should take about 15 to 20 minutes to really glance over.
Yeah. It's like maybe an hour or two.
Yeah.
Uh, so when you guys played The Witcher 2, did either of you play The Witcher 1?
Yes.
No. Not.
I played the first 10 hours of The Witcher 1, and then I lost my save file, and I'm like, I'm not doing that again. No, thank you. I enjoyed what it was trying to do, though. Witcher 2 is far superior, I think, though.
The Witcher 1 loses its way. Or maybe it kind of finds its way, but it's almost too late. And there's a lot of
Yeah.
really big mechanical issues that weren't super issues then, but like in looking back are definitely not great.
It does not stand the test of time. It is very much a PC game, though.
Yes.
I
It was
played
almost ported,
Yeah, I heard
but
about that.
there was an issue with payment from CD Projekt Red to the port devs because the port devs, according to them, weren't reaching like flag points or like milestones fast enough, and they were like, "We're not giving you money." And they're like, "Fine, we're not making this game anymore."
Yeah, I mean, that's usually how it works.
Yeah.
I played The Witcher 2 on the 360.
So did I.
I tried to play it on PC, but that was just a bad idea from the get-go. I
Played
do
it
not
on
have...
PC. It wasn't ideal. It wasn't optimal.
Nah. So, when you guys played through The Witcher 2, how did you play Geralt of Rivia? How did you play it straight? Did you play it mean and evil? Jacob?
I mean, I play like a perfect gentleman always.
Just going
Holding
to
doors
Pound
open.
Town.
I mean, I had no idea. I knew nothing about The Witcher going in. It was just a game that I was just like, I want to play something new. So I went to a store and I was like, this thing looks fine, and I bought it, and then I played it way too much right
Yeah.
when I got it, and so yeah, I didn't know like I didn't go in knowing like okay, this is how a witch would play. This is how I had no connection to the character, no understanding of the world. It was
Hmm.
all just blind. So I just played how I guess I would have. Sometimes I play like how like in The Wolf Among Us, I was like, this guy, I'm not a dick, but Bigby's gonna be a dick right here.
Yeah.
But when I played as Geralt, I was like, this is just what I would do.
Yeah.
So
I think that's
yes,
fair because The Witcher isn't, there's never a Paragon or Renegade option in The Witcher.
yeah. We
It's,
were talking about this when we were playing Bloodborne. It's every decision is like a shade of terrifying gray.
it's like I guess this is not the worst.
Yeah,
Ends
again,
up it's probably the worst.
yeah. I guess I could sleep a little bit with myself, knowing that I did this to these people or ignored this completely.
Yeah. I do like that The Witcher prologue definitely kind of gives you a taste for how your decisions will kind of push you forward in that game. Like how you might see different areas and different things depending on what you do. What about you, Jarrett? Did you have a particular play style?
I think the difference here is I did have a relationship with the lore before I went to the game.
Hmm.
So I have a pretty set idea of how Geralt would react to certain things, or how not even like what I'm consciously thinking, what would Geralt do, and then do that, but more like I know this is the Geralt answer because I know from reading these books and playing the first game that this is kind of Geralt's. This is like his thing. I don't see why there would be no reason for him not to do this unless something really shitty happened right now, but it didn't happen yet. So he's gonna do the Geralt answer.
Yeah, that's good. That's good that you have that reference point. Neither of us do. So
Not at all.
I just I kind of got an idea of what Geralt would be. I guess when I played it, I definitely tried to keep things a little more on the up and up. Uh, but I definitely felt playing through Witcher 2 more so because I'm always like the paragon, the good guy. I felt more inclined to do like selfish acts in The Witcher because like no one is ever going to give you the straight and narrow. Like they're always going to try and backstab you or cut you out of some winnings in some way. So I was more inclined to like self preservation took over and I would uh I would weasel around people if I had to, which I liked.
Yeah,
What?
and it's
Did,
sorry,
you're fine. Go ahead.
and it's easier to be kind of a shittier person. Be like, no, I did the job, but I think you owe me more money because everyone in that world is just a total fucking asshole
Yeah.
too. So it's easier. It was
And
easier for me to be like, I can be a dick.
yeah, sometimes like when you killed like a super scary tough monster, you're like, I think I fucking earned a little bit more money than
Yeah,
this too.
100 more oranges are in order.
Yeah.
And remember,
And
like that is his job. Like no matter what else he gets into, or what else he ever gets like sidetracked into, his job is to kill monsters for people. So like he's got to get like his paycheck somehow.
okay. Now we have to move on to the most important question in relation to The Witcher 2.
God,
Did you guys fuck that succubus?
No,
no.
I let uh, Dandelion like get seduce and then use him as bait.
I fucked the shit out of that
That was
God.
that was a mistake.
Whatever, man. She was cool.
She's a succubus.
She's a succubus. She
She was a
can't.
succubus. Like she wasn't the bad guy.
She was not the good guy though.
She is, yeah.
She just needed to
Bad.
go to Pound Town to get a little sexual energy. We had a friendly goodbye to one another, and that was that.
I'm just
She told
saying.
me who really committed whatever crime that was and whatever side quest that was. But goddamn,
Uh,
did she have some goat legs? I'll tell you.
yeah. Yuck.
She had a great upper half. I'll tell you what. Her better half was
Was not
significantly better.
was not goat
Was better than
half.
goat.
It was, yeah, noticeably better than goat. All right. Well, aside from possibly having anal sex with a succubus, so The Witcher opens up with the like the siege on that castle, and this is like following The Witcher 1, I believe, right? Because
Yeah, pretty
a
much.
king is assassinated or
Well, there's
attempted
an
to be assassinated.
attempt in the first game to assassinate. At the very end, like the last cutscene you see is Geralt of like turning away an attempt on Volta's life.
Mm-hmm.
It begins where apparently someone came back and actually did it, and you believe, or you're being held captive by the chief of his guard who believes you did it. So like
Yeah.
the epilogue is recounting, the steps up into that point and trying to prove your innocence.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like, done flashback scenes, very reminiscent of Arrow, even though this came out before Arrow. Um, and yeah, you're kind of like flashing back and forth, and you're talking with what's his face, the leader of the Blue Stripes, who's like a dick.
Roach.
Roche, yeah,
Yeah.
Captain Roche or Roach, I don't know, whichever they
I
call
call him
him.
Roach because he's a shit.
Yeah, and yeah, you're flashing back between that. I definitely like this. It gives you a good idea of the kind of like, oh, like if I say this thing, then this thing doesn't really happen. Um, and you see different things. You can skip a whole bunch of it, of that opening, um, and kind of get right to the last part where dragon attacks and you're like, shit, and then you lose your sword in the dragon's mouth, and the other Witcher shows up and assassinates the king. I definitely like this game, which I don't know how much the next one will, is very much brings up antagonistic Witchers, like other Witchers that are bad dudes.
How many Witchers are left? I mean, I guess I don't know.
There's what,
I,
four in the Wolf one that Geralt's from, right?
Yes.
And the other three are going to be in The Witcher 3 because they've shown them in trailers.
And there aren't like Witchers as a concept are really like a fading sort of profession.
Yeah,
People don't even really. There are plenty of people who have never seen a Witcher,
yeah.
which is something 100 years before was unheard of.
Hmm.
That's why Witchers spent a lot of their time uh, doing shit for like politics related because they've run out of like need for them to do like mystic monster shit.
Yeah. But, there's always a big enough monster that needs a Witcher, it seems.
Right. There's always someone who can't handle the Griffin or some shit.
Yeah, or like a giant lake monster.
yeah.
Yeah, it's so the School of the Wolf, I think is what they call it. That's where Geralt is from. And then the School of the Cobra, I think it was, is
I don't
where
know if it was Cobra or just they call it Snake, but their
yeah,
symbol, wherever what's his name was from, uh, their symbol was the snake.
yeah, the Kingslayer, who is the kind of the main antagonist of the game. Let's see if I can find his name.
Letho.
That's his name.
Letho, yeah. Who's kind of like a badass. I don't
He
know if
is.
you
He's
guys
like
thought.
he's all big and broody, but he's so goddamn fast.
He's fast and he's very smart as
Yeah.
well. Which I appreciated that he wasn't just the idiot being used. He was also like very intelligent.
He's very much like comic book Bane.
Yes, he's smart, tactical, and knows his enemy. Yeah, so you see Letho show up and kill the king, and Geralt gets blamed for it. To kind of prove his innocence, he starts following a lead to see if like he can find Letho and kill him or bring him to justice. In that first prologue, you have the option of like siding with one or like killing someone or not killing them, and that actually affects if you meet somebody. So that kind of illustrates what ends up being chapter two, in that like if you meet like this lady who's throwing a rebellion, you meet her son, Arian Lavalette, and you can either make him surrender or kill him. And if you kill him, you meet his mother, who is like in charge of the rebellion. But if you let him surrender, you meet him later on. You talk to him again, which is very similar to kind of like the decision that splits chapter two.
Right.
Do you guys remember what you did?
I saved him. He doesn't like. He still dies. I think when you escape, he like helps you escape, but he still like. He. I
I
don't
don't
remember
think
what
he
he does.
dies.
He doesn't. He doesn't. Oh.
Yeah, I killed him the first time I played through.
I killed him. Mostly
'Cause
because I like tried to, dissuade him, but it takes more than just like, don't do this. Like, I don't
yeah,
care.
that's pretty much what happened to me. You had to kind of talk him down.
In the play, I mean, I was just been kind of replaying it recently, and I'm pretty sure I killed him the first time, but this most recent time, I somehow managed to not kill him.
Yeah,
And,
I started a second playthrough last year, like right after I beat it, because I wanted to see how chapter two plays out the other way. Um, and yeah, I didn't end up getting there, but I did let him live just to see what happened. It was cool. Um, chapter one takes place in this story, wow, in the forest. And like the main thing that happens there is like you have to side with either the Squayatel or the Blue Stripes, and that kind of affects what path you go on for the rest of the game. And you can, I guess, you can do like a lot of different things depending on what happens. But yeah, it's pretty much you show up and there's a lake monster, the Kairan, and you have to kill it. And you meet some witches. And
and
they're
you
up
have
to no
sex
good.
again. You can have sex in a little bathtub.
Oh yeah, you totally can bone down with Triss.
Yeah, I did
What are
that.
you doing later? Boning. Cool.
Boning in a bathtub, no big deal.
Yeah, I for sure did that. And then you fight Letho for the first time, and goddamn, is that fight difficult?
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I was quick saving quite often.
Yeah, yeah. The whole game, fights were hard for me. I was bad at the combat early on, real bad.
Yeah, I got better like when I learned like what potions worked best for how I played. I definitely didn't really mess with the traps. I used the fire bombs every now and again, but and the daggers, but I didn't like worry about like the traps that you place on the ground and have to worry about constantly.
Sometimes I did. Like if I knew a particular creature was there because I'd been there before,
Yeah,
then I'll totally
like
lay it down.
when you're hunting those like plant spider crab monsters in the forest,
Hmm.
and you have to kill a bunch of them, then kill the egg sac, and then the queen shows up, and you have to fight the
Right.
big one. Yeah, I probably planted some traps for those.
Yeah, it's
Because
definitely easier that way.
fuck those things.
Yeah, those things are fucking assholes.
It's cool though. You it's very much a kind of standard RPG in that you level up and kill monsters to get experience, which I appreciated. It was different than the other stuff like Skyrim, where you have to use skills to get experience. Um, what did you guys think of Dandelion and Zoltan, which is the dwarf and the bard?
I like Dandelion and Zoltan because they're both Dandelion especially. Not so much in the game. This is obviously a holdover from the books because he doesn't really have a huge role in the games.
Hmm.
Except he has a bigger role in in this game than the last one. But normally it's like he's the guy telling the story. He's the guy filling in all the journal points in case you wanted to read about these guys.
Yeah.
But he is really like Geralt's only like friend
Hmm.
who like hangs out with him and just wants to follow him around. Like when Triss is around, it's usually business.
Oh, it's business. All right.
But like Dandelion's down for whatever. He's
Mhm.
like, "Yo, are we going to the club tonight?"
Yeah,
He's a real bro.
Right.
yeah.
He
I agree.
he
I
is
was saying
cool.
he is. I mean, I wasn't like kind of like Zoltan. You're fine. But Dandelion, I was always like, let's hang out, Dandelion. In real life, I want to hang out with you. You're
And like he
fun.
totally wants to hang out with you. He like, let's go get some ale. I'm gonna sing this sweet song I wrote.
We're gonna get some ladies.
Get some ladies. I'll write a song about them.
Yeah, and it's going down. No, Dandelion is very much that. He's so like instantly likable as well. Uh, like even though like when you meet him, like they're him and
They're
Zoltan
about
are
to
about
hang
to
him,
be
right? Yeah.
executed, and then you have to stop that and kind of pay off the fucking Laredo, the commandant of the area, who's a piece of garbage. Uh, like most characters in this game, Dandelion is
Yeah.
not. Yeah, it's cool. I liked him a lot too. He's very much that guy you want to hang out with and kind of see what happens. Just see where the night takes you. Uh,
Yeah.
Zoltan is really good too, but I got to see a lot more of him because of the path I took in the game. So I was a big fan of hanging out with him. Um, what did you guys think of the Karen? The Karen? Kyran?
The giant
The boss
tentacle
fight.
beast.
The
Yeah, tentacle
giant.
monster.
Yeah.
And the weird quick time events.
Wasn't my favorite fight, that's for sure.
Yeah. And like you die out instantly if you fuck up the quick time events because
Yeah.
this is God of War apparently.
Really. Well, that was back when QuickTime events were the shit.
Yeah, it's true. It's so weird. Uh, when did this game come out? Actually, was it
2007, 8? No, probably later than that, right?
No, 2000.
Probably like 10 or 11, right?
2011. No, 2012.
Really?
It came
Wait.
out. It came out initially in 2011 and to 360 in 2012.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah,
about
because the first one was 2007.
Yeah,
damn.
yeah. It's. I guess it is weird to think like. It reminded me a lot of Dead Space in a lot of weird ways because of like the instant death quick time events. But I mean, Dead Space doesn't have too many of those. I think the second one did, but
I don't
um,
know, like, the boss fights weren't necessarily, like, super compelling in The
Fun.
Witcher 2.
yeah.
They're like,
Letho
cut the
fights
tentacle
were
off.
good.
Yeah. I didn't like the monster body. I mean, like, yeah, like the fights with Letho, they were hard, but I always had a pretty good time fighting him at least.
Right.
Yeah.
But the
And
monster,
like
yeah, the monster.
the dragon fight was not the best. It was kind of awkward in a lot of weird ways. So what did you guys do? The big decision? Did you go with Vernon Roche, or did you go with Yorveth? Um,
I want Roche because, I mean, why not?
just never trust an elf.
Not that I don't trust an elf, but, like,
Boo.
the problem with going with Yorveth is I'm still trying to prove that I didn't kill this dude. And me joining their rebellion is not going to do that. It's like the
Yeah.
safer political option.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I felt that there was a better chance that I was going to catch Letho if I went with Yorveth. Honestly.
See, I thought the same thing, but more importantly, Yorveth was cooler.
Yorveth was definitely.
You just have
a lot
this
cooler.
sweet
He was,
bandana.
yeah, he was more compelling. I don't know, he just was a more compelling character to me too, and I wanted to get to know him more.
He
than I
is. He's a
wanted
bit
to-
more of a tragic dude. Like, he's a product of his environment. Like, he's
Yeah.
not kind of just being a dick just to be a dick.
Yeah, like he just wants, like freedom for his people, but he goes about it in just the straight up worst ways ever.
Absolute worst. He's really easy to respect though because he commands the room. He gets your attention. There's a reason why people follow him.
Yeah, so and I never did a playthrough where I chose Roche, so I have no idea what the other side's even like. But
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to talk about because, like that, I feel like Chapter 2 is where the bulk of stuff happens, mostly because it can be different from player to player.
So can 3 in some bigger ways. Not necessarily as different, but how you get to, the epilogue is like
Yeah.
can be way different.
So, in chapter 2, if you go with Yorveth, you are siding with this rebellion against Henselt. Uh, and the rebellion is led by what's her name?
That
The night lady who's actually like
a bird
A
or
dragon.
something, or a dragon something.
Yeah, I'm looking at. I can't. It's not listing her name. But the lady that turns into a dragon. She, if you don't remember her, I definitely. I'm pissed that I can't remember her name. The chapter 2 actually starts with like you're playing a different character though. You're like playing the prince in the scene
aren't
where
you
like
playing Hensel?
you might be playing Henselt.
And he's going to the
Yeah,
the
you're walking
land like
to the meeting.
Yeah,
yeah
to
to the
the
meeting.
peace treaty meeting to see if
And
you
you'll
can
duel what's her name?
yes, the
That's
dragon
right.
lady that no one can remember.
She could have left an impression on all of us.
I'm
Philippa?
bad with
Is it
names.
It's not Sabrina. Saska? Is that it?
Saskia,
Saskia.
Right.
Saskia. The
Yeah.
what
And
are they
Henselt
called?
and like Sheila and Deathmold, that creepy dude.
Oh God, Deathmold was the creepiest dude.
They go up and lay the smackdown.
Yeah, Saskia, the Dragon Slayer is what they call her. So yeah, it was weird. Like I was very alarmed when you start chapter 2 and it's like, wait, I'm playing somebody else, and then like yeah, everything goes to shit, and then some curse is put over the battlefield, and like zombies start coming up and start killing dudes, and
Because
people,
Hensel's a dick.
yeah, because Henselt's a dick, and shit goes down. Why did the curse happen again? I don't remember.
Sabrina, I believe, was the sorceress that was
That's right.
advising Hensel
Hmm.
during the war
Yeah,
in that particular plane, and she was conniving with the sorceress like council
yeah.
behind his back, and he wanted to press forward. She didn't want him to, or some
Mhm.
bullshit like that. So when she went to the sorceresses, she said, so she appealed to her actual, leaders to say what to do about the situation. And they're like, you got to do something about it. And she's like, well, I'm going to cast this shitty spell, and I'm going to just burn everything.
This
They're
like
like, that's probably a
super,
good idea.
this super ancient curse that's gonna light shit up.
So she like cast like a ridiculous like spell that rained fire from the sky and killed like thousands of people.
Yeah,
Hensel was like, that's fucked up, and burned her at the stake.
yeah. I mean, you can't
call.
disagree necessarily.
Yeah, good call on his part.
So then, so I was on the Dwarven City side.
So was I.
I was on the other
And
side.
you were on like it's like an army camp, right?
Yeah, it's Hensel's like camp, like forward camp.
So like, since we're foreign to this, and have you played through the other side at all, Jared?
I started like I haven't finished my playthrough. I wanted to play a Yorvik playthrough all the way through before Witcher 3, but it's just not going to happen now.
Yeah.
But I've gotten to the city and kind of walked around,
Hmm.
but I haven't really done much in the way of like side quests or anything like that.
You know, it's funny. We usually spoil the games that have like a lot of an emphasis on choice. That's kind of like our thing. Telltale games being the bigger ones. But like Witcher 2 kind of makes them all look like jokes because like there's a whole part of the game you don't see
Right.
Yeah.
much.
It's almost a completely different game.
Yeah, it is in a lot of ways, and that's a lot of content to make. And I was really happy that CD Projekt Red was kind of ballsy enough to go for that kind of thing. Took them 5 years, but whatever, paid off I think a lot. Obviously, I don't think Witcher 3 is going to have anything like this in it.
I don't think it can.
Necessarily.
It's too open, like worldy.
Yeah, I mean, there could be parts of the world that you just never see because you did something else in another part of the world, like it destroyed that village or something. I think that's definitely still a possibility, but nothing quite like this. So I don't think there will ever really be anything quite like Chapter 2 of The Witcher 2 ever again.
Yeah, I think you're right.
which I think is awesome. So tell me about Henselt's army camp. Like, what's the game plan when you're over there?
You are Vernon Roche and his elite squad of dudes have set up a side camp outside of Hensel's camp,
Hmm.
and your goal is to convince Hensel to help you find Letho,
Okay.
because he went up like river and he's last seen in this area. So you're
Mhm.
kind of investigating the leads. Um, at the same time, Hensel's not doing anything unless his curse is lifted. Uh,
Yeah, and Letho kidnapped Triss at the end of chapter
right.
one.
So you have to find her.
Mhm.
He wants to just run dudes through the curse and hopefully it happens, but he's also on the other end like definitely afraid of this because he doesn't. This is the first time he's seen like a sorceress's power like fully. Like he just saw his battlefield burst into flames and then saw this weird fog like take over everything.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know what to do. So he wants you to help Death Mold figure this out.
Fucking Death Mold. I'm glad I
Fuck
didn't have to
Death
So
work
you
with
and
him.
Death Mold
Yeah.
get like real fucking acquainted.
Yuck.
At the same time, like he and um, Sheila are like rivals. They both have the same goal. Death Mold is actually one of Henselt's like trusted advisors, where Sheila is just uh, an appointed representative of the Sorcerer's Court in Hensel's like company.
Yeah.
So they don't trust each other, but they know they need each other, kind of in a research standpoint.
Yeah. So
You
so
start
does
poking around with these dudes about the Wild Hunt, and they laugh at you.
yeah, so is Death Mold his goal is to try and break the curse.
Yeah, he wants to break the curse, but he also wants to use sort of the phenomenon of everything that happened here to sort of further his own research. Like
Uh
you learn about, he finds a way to possess someone's thoughts after they're dead,
shit.
and
Yeah.
he like needs your help with that.
So like to mold with death in a way?
Yeah, something like that. Something close to that.
I see what they're doing there.
See what you did there. You son of a bitch.
Yeah. I'm so glad I didn't have to work with him though. So
Yeah,
I'm
he
fine
was
with
like, because you only meet him as like an antagonist when you're on the other side, and he's like such a fucking dickweed.
it. Yeah.
I mean, he eventually kind of turns that way um, on the other side
Yeah,
because he's like pretty much down for whatever. Like, if you need to get kidnapped or or if you're doing some things that are like socially frowned upon, like he's totally down.
yeah.
Fuck
So,
him.
like on the Yorveth side, you
There's
get
like a point.
there.
Doesn't
Yeah.
she get pulled like the council thing?
Yeah, there's like a council meeting, and she's with the prince. I don't really remember what the fuck he was doing. He seemed just kind of there. But she gets poisoned from a goblet, and so your goal is to find an antidote for her, figure out who poisoned her, and to also dispel the curse. So-
Adventurous.
yeah,
You got a lot to do.
and find Triss. And like that's just there's also a bunch of side quests, a lot of good harpy hunting side quests that definitely happen. Kill some harpies if you were curious. I like that. I definitely because you find out like the goblet that she was using, like it was like poison on the inside of the goblet, and the guy that made the goblet, he made like a copy of her goblet, and then you can arrest that guy. He's a,
Arrest this man.
he's a
Yeah.
dick. There's a succubus that you can totally go to Pound Town with.
Goat legs.
Goat legs.
God.
And
There's a chick on the other side. If you remember in the very beginning, Roche
Vess?
asks Vess to come in and like give you water or something.
yeah,
If you try to fuck around, she'll like just shoot you with a crossbow. You just die. But she is like Roach's like number two. So there's a tournament for when people get bored. I guess they just fight in a tournament, like in a ring. So you can fight her in the ring, and if you beat her, but don't disrespect her, then she's like, "Yo, you want to drink and bang out?" And you're like, "Yeah."
Damn.
that's pretty cool. I'm a fan. Drinking bang out. If
See,
only
you got it.
Dandelion were there.
If only.
Yeah.
So yeah, like a big part of the Yorveth side is kind of like hanging out with the elves, kind of learning their plight. Also hanging out with the dwarves and talking with them, and going on like dwarf excavating adventures.
Yeah.
But man, Jacob, do you remember like the weird shit that you have to go and get to break the curse?
Is it
Kind of.
the same over there that it is on the other side? Like you gotta get like a flag, like a standard from the battle,
Yeah,
and like
Yeah.
dude's armor or something like that. Some
yeah, you have
bullshit.
to
I
go to
remember.
like into some crypts and get
Yeah,
something from that, and then a flag. Um, I think
and you
like
gotta
maybe
get like a spearhead or something like that.
maybe I'm not sure. I don't remember everything. It was definitely like weird. Um, and let me see if I can pull up the actual quest. Uh, and like I did like the part where you actually have to break the curse. You go through the cursed area, and you have to like fight. You have to reenact the battle as different soldiers,
Right?
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
do remember that.
yeah. It's cool. Oh yeah. It's all coming
and
back.
then you because you're working for Sheila, who's like the witch advising uh, Saskia on the other side. And I mean, she was like, I don't know if I should trust you. Obviously, you really shouldn't trust Sheila. She's kind of a
No.
jerk off.
Yeah, fuck her.
And then you break the curse, and then Sheila drops something in her room when she's like totally boning down with her lesbian assistant. Do you remember this,
There's a
Jacob?
lot of that because like Death Mold is pretty much Sheila on the other side, but Death Mode also has like a gay manservant.
Oh, sweet. That's pretty awesome.
That really death mold.
And then you can like grill her assistant to learn that she's like actually the bad dude. And then you get like this like little wooden statue, and then when you bring it over, Deathmold turns it into Triss. And you're like, fuck, what is going on? Yeah, I don't know if you remember how weird it got there.
I did
I'm
not get
trying
that
to.
far in my second playthrough, so I'm like it's beginning to get hazy. But I do. Fuck this game. Yeah, there was a lot of points near the end of this game where I was like, what the fuck is happening now? I
It might have
don't.
been. I might be thinking of Philippa, who's the lady that you work with, the witch
Uh,
lady.
you might be right.
Not Sheila. Sheila might not be there. But she
No,
talks.
because Sheila is definitely on your side, or on uh
Nurse's side.
yeah Roach's side, because
Yeah.
her
Okay.
and Death Mold have like a relationship. You're talking about Philippa.
Yeah, so Philippa, you talk to her, and she's talking. You see her talking to Sheila at some point, I think, like right at the end. Which that makes more sense. God, Philippa gets super fucked up by the end of that game, though. And yeah, so like, how does it end on that side? Do you have to
Um,
sneak into the other camp? Because
you do at one point to get a piece of the curse to break it.
Okay. I think you have to do a similar thing for your best side.
It ends with Death Mold's doing some bullshit, and you catch him on it. And either
Shock.
he, like, as you're breaking the curse, something else happens in the camp, and I think Death Mold's behind it. Henselt's men believe Roach's men did it, so they're like fleeing the scene, but
Shit.
Roach and Vest decide that they're going to meet you upriver after it's all over once you break the curse. So you have to break it, and then you got to go.
What a piece of fuck
And
out.
there's a point where you do encounter Death Mold as he's running, and either you can let him go, and by let him go, I mean he gets away by accident, or you can kill him, or let Roach kill him.
These all seem like valid options. You know, the ones where he's dead.
Yeah. Not letting him go. You didn't let him go, did you?
No, Roach, he had to go.
Yes.
Nah.
Yeah, I think I don't know if the Yorvis path ends with it, but like the Henselt's men attack, they siege the town. You have to fight them off for a little bit.
Yeah. that happens. Except we're not in Vergen when it happens. Like it kind of just happened.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely in Bergen
Yeah, it's
where
in.
that happens on Yorveth's end. And you have to like defend the city. You pour some hot lava, magma, or like melted metal or something on some people. It's pretty cool. And then I think Saskia turns into a dragon, and then it's all like, maybe we should leave.
Doesn't Philippa take Saskia somewhere with her?
Yeah,
Is that
Philippa does some kind of spell on Saskia to take away her free will, which is some
Like-
bad news, and then takes Saskia.
So does she turn into a dragon in Act 2 or Act 3?
I don't remember.
I thought it was
think
just Act 3. but I
Oh,
could
no,
be
you
wrong.
find out that she's a dragon.
Yeah,
in
you
Act
find
2.
out she's a dragon in Act 2.
Yeah.
Depending on how you got there.
Yeah, you can go into like the catacombs and then she's there and then you see her transform back. Or you see her transform and then transform back and she's like, you can't tell anyone. And I'm like, fuck, man, I guess.
I ain't saying shit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
You're a
lie to
goddamn
the
dragon.
dragon's face.
Yeah. And then she goes back to the battle. Because I think on Yorveth's side, Henselt's men start sieging in the catacombs underneath the Vergen, and then you have to go defend it, and Saskia comes with you, and that's what happens.
That's okay. Yeah, that's what happened. Because you lead the siege to Vergen when it happens on the other side.
Okay.
And you find out once you get there that Deathmold had already been there, and you meet him like in the Undercroft, I guess, trying to get in like this. Like there are people coming in through the front gates, and you're letting that fight happen. You're going in like the back door, and you realize Deathmold's already been there,
Okay.
and you're like, "Yo, man, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Man, fuck y'all."
I'm out. Yeah, it's weird because Philippa, I think at some point after that takes over. Yeah, the cure you make for Saskia because she was poisoned is actually the spell to give Philippa control over her,
Right.
which is some hot bullshit.
That's some hot bullshit.
And I guess that might not happen if you're on Roach's path.
You don't see it happen.
Yeah.
Like your experience with Sasuke after that, like on this side, is you meet her when she's a dragon,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, you can. There are materials you can find to research, and you can kind of get the gist of this is probably who she is.
Yeah.
But you don't know until you find her.
Yeah. Makes sense. So then you go to chapter 3, which is in like this city. I don't know. I don't remember what, like why people were gathering there for like some kind of median.
It was
It
The
was like,
mages were there. It was for a magical thing.
oh
wasn't
yeah, it's
it?
because
Yeah. You're accompanying.
it's
Is
'cause
there like a summit or something like that?
the king died, and they had to discuss what the fuck they were going to do with the land. I believe was what was happening. And so
I think so.
the Nilfgaardians came. The Nilfgaard is the empire. And yeah, I'm
And at that point, yeah, because Philippa gets kidnapped by the Redanians, so you have to choose whether to go get Triss or,
Saskia or Philippa?
I think it's Philippa.
it's Philippa, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I'm looking at this little summary. It says you have to decide between save Triss from the Nilfgaardians or Philippa from the Redanians.
And then you got to choose whether it's like, I guess, to save Triss or let the Lafayette guys, like the Lavalette's dude's mother die or something
Yeah.
like that.
So it's the daughter, right? It's the little girl.
Right? Yeah, the little girl. Yeah.
So I didn't have that option. You only get that option if you follow Roche. So if you remember, Jacob, remember when the king is killed at the beginning,
Yep.
he sends his two kids away. One's his son, who's too young, and his daughter, who's a little bit older. So Aeneas Lavalette can become like the next ruler, but you have to save her to do it, I believe. And you have to pick between her and Triss.
Wouldn't have chosen her, most like 99% sure. I would
Yeah,
have chosen Triss every time.
yeah. Even though you find out Triss was working for the council, of witches because she was just kind of like a part of it. Yeah, if you're coming with your Veth, you can like try and sneak in and get caught on purpose, so your Veth can sneak in. I think is what it was. That's what I did.
Mm.
And you're in like a prison cell and Philippa is in the other cell, and then they gouge her eyes out.
Jesus.
It's super fucked up. But you're the only one that knows she has control over Saskia, and that Saskia is a dragon, and that this is probably going to go bad. But I think Sheila, because of something between her and Philippa, also has control of Saskia. Which is bad, because Sheila's a bad person.
Yeah, I don't remember completely, but I think on Roach's path, you're led to believe that Sheila is the person with the control.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, she is ultimately...
Because that was part of, like, why she was even in the area.
Yeah. So did you... what did you do, Jarrett? Did you save the daughter?
No.
You're like, no,
Yeah.
fuck this.
I don't know why I didn't. I feel like because the son was still around, I thought. Or they were
Yeah,
hiding
like, he
or
doesn't
something
die.
like that. Like, he could... There's still, like, an heir.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
only one Triss.
They just have to figure it out. But I figure, like, do I save this kid I've known for, like, a year maybe, or, like, Triss? And I'm like,
Yeah,
well,
Triss is legit as shit, man. I know, like, your wife comes back in Witcher 3, but I don't give a fuck. She was gone for a while. It's all about Triss now.
It's all about Triss. It's fair. I saw that trailer though. His wife can turn into a bird and cut through her face, cut through people's face.
she can snap her fingers and take off all of her clothes. That's pretty cool, though. I think Triss can do that, too, though.
Yeah, Triss did that.
I feel like that's, like, the first trick we all learn.
Yeah.
Just take off her clothes and snap a finger.
Can you imagine, like, Sorcerer's Hogwarts and, like, The Witcher? They're like, well, here's your first lesson. Break your magic wand in half and then snap your fingers.
Snap your
See
fingers.
that? You
and
have
get
no clothes on
naked.
now.
Yeah.
Remember this one. You're going to need it.
Yeah, you can also shoot fireballs from your hands.
Yes.
Good to know.
It's a secondary.
Good to know.
That's what you learn second. You learn how to take your clothes off to snap a finger first. That's the most important magic trick.
Is right after that.
The most important spell you'll ever learn. Get naked.
Man. Is how to get ready to get down if you don't. So you saved Triss. I guess everybody probably saved Triss. I mean,
Why wouldn't you? It's Triss. She's badass.
She is a badass. She's like one of your only good friends.
Yeah, her and Dandelion. If you had to choose between Triss and Dandelion, that's a decision.
That'd be tough.
That'd be tough.
I would probably choose Dandelion.
Honestly, choose Triss because she's got red hair.
The thing is, though, like, again, my Geralt wants Yennefer because that's why he's here. That's why he's always been here. Which is kind of funny because apparently in 3 she doesn't even remember who he is. You're like, well, that's neat.
Bullshit.
That's heartbreaking.
Although I think 3 opens up with like a little prologue, where it's like a flashback scene. Because Geralt gets his memories back at the end of this.
At the end of 2. Well, even towards like soon after you rescue Triss, I thought you get your memories back.
Yeah.
Like
He like got mortally wounded, but Yennefer healed him, I believe.
Something happened between Yennefer and him afterwards, because everyone that he knows, like Dandelion and Triss, saw him die, and Yennefer was there. She did something and brought him back.
Yeah, and
he lost his memory and it was gone for like 5 years.
Yeah, and he ended up in like that interdimension with the Wild Hunt. I think at some point, like there was like some kind of island.
Well, he spent time on an island with Yennefer.
Mm-hmm.
Then they were like hanging out because he decided to like semi-retire with her, and they went hang out at this village or some shit. And the humans there are going to slaughter like all the non-humans because they're all racist. And Geralt's like, no, don't do it, no, and they killed him instead.
Yeah.
And then he wakes up for some reason after when he dies, and whatever spell kept him alive long enough, the Wild Hunt came and got him, like abducted him, and he woke up on an island and doesn't know how he got there, and had been gone for years.
Yeah. I guess Witcher 3 is going to try and fill in that gap of what happened with him in the Wild Hunt because it's mainly about that kind of conflict. I think it's a possibility that Ciri might have given herself to get Geralt back. Now she's running from the Wild Hunt. That's my theory.
Maybe, but they were always chasing her.
Yeah.
Ciri, so maybe she like showed up real quick and was like, "Go over here."
And then he was all like,
Don't
I'm
do it. Oh, there she is.
It's yeah, it's really interesting. I'm really excited to see how the Wild Hunt plays into everything because the Wild Hunt's fucking awesome. Just the idea of it. So yeah, so the chapter 3 is kind of like about that meeting with the Redanians and the Nilfgaardians. That's right, because the two people are fighting over who's going to take the land now that the king was dead. Because another king dies as well, which is that opening cutscene, that CG cutscene. So that's what Prince Stennis, I believe, and Henselt are fighting about.
Yes.
So this is like, I think the Nilfgaards come into it to like kind of settle things, and then the dragon shows up, and
Like, oh snap.
yeah, shit goes raw. And
Yeah.
you have to chase Sheila and the dragon. So that's kind of like where the last major decisions come in. So you can either choose to let Sheila go or kill her. Do you guys remember what you did?
I may have let her go.
She got
I think-
got.
I think I let her go.
I think
don't
I did
remember
too.
I let
why.
her die.
I let her die on my sword. And then you can either let the dragon live or kill the dragon.
I think I let
I
the
don't
dragon
remember what I
live
did.
too.
I think I might have let her live.
I
My
think
game.
you can kill Philippa and Sheila and give the dragon back its free will. But only if you did a certain thing, and I didn't, so I put the dragon out of its misery.
Yeah. That's what you have to tell yourself. You put it out of its misery.
Well, I mean, I don't want no slave dragon flying around killing things because some witch told him to. Her
Like
to.
the genie in like Aladdin.
Yeah, it's
but
like Jafar
completely
getting
way too
lamp.
hardcore.
Yeah, that movie gets fucking way too dark, way too quickly. And then, so like that's kind of like the final acts of chapter 3, and I wonder how that's gonna play into The Witcher 3 because I mean I'm sure Sheila is still gonna be fucking around.
I think there's like a Inquisition, Dragon Age Inquisition sort of situation where you can kind of set up, or more like a Mass Effect 2 situation where they ask you questions.
Yeah, that's what
and
Jacob
you
was telling
determine
me.
what it is.
Good.
Like I the only problem with that is like I don't necessarily remember. Like I don't know if I killed Sheila or not. I'm pretty sure I let her go. Don't remember why.
Yeah. Don't remember my motivations at the time. What I
no,
was
that
feeling.
ass.
Yeah, that's what it was.
You can still make it up.
I remember letting Philippa go because she had her eyes gouged out, and I was like,
This is
just-
enough.
"Yeah, go have fun with that."
I think you learned your lesson.
Really, she's the one you should have put out of her misery.
I'm pretty sure I killed Philippa's lesbian assistant, though.
Oh, so you broke her heart and let her wander the world blind.
Yeah, you see my motivation. Like I'm not normally this evil in games, but fuck her.
So now she's like a supervillain.
God, I hope so. She's like Daredevil.
You gave her like her supervillain motivation right now.
Yeah.
She comes back like with like ninja powers.
Philip, I knew you were gonna be this hardcore. Would have killed your ass.
So then you get to the epilogue, and depending on what happened, so like I disbanded the group of sorceresses. I revealed that because I think Triss said that you probably should because it's probably not good.
Because whatever they're doing ain't great.
But I think it's because like there is a series of specific actions that set up the world in a way like if you kill Sheila or if you kill the dragon or whatever, like it affects what people are going to be doing with the sorcerers. Like they call in like this group of like anti-mages to kind of deal with it, and it affects whether or not they're hunting the sorcerers or whether or not they get like a chance to reprieve themselves. I don't know if you remember this necessarily, but it's complicated. The ending is complicated. um, but the big thing is like there's a chance you can get to save Yorveth at the end when you're going back through the area, Lochmoin, and then you also have to fight Letho if you want to. So what did you guys do?
Definitely saved your Beth. If that was an option of whether or not to, I know that I would have then, even though
Yeah, I saved him as well. I think you can save Roche on your side.
I was going to say
Sure.
Lista. But I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure, because you fight Letho, but you can choose to, can't you, after you fight him, can't you choose to just like leave him and let him live?
You can choose not to fight him at all. You can choose to fight him and then let him live, or you can choose to fight him and kill him.
Okay, because I know I did fight him and kill him, or not, I fought him and let him live. Sorry,
Okay. I
because
killed him.
at the end of it, I was just like, man, Letho, I don't like what you did, but I kind of
like
respect
you.
you a lot. I kind of like you. You kind of impressed me with your speed and your not idiocy. I mean, I judged you by your cover for sure the first time I saw you, and I shouldn't have done that. And I let you live because of it.
That was wrong of me. I can recognize that.
Yeah. So he's alive
Yeah,
still.
I killed him. I was like, I'm closing the book on this.
You're a savage, man.
No, man,
No
no.
heart.
The fucking Witcher always pays his debts.
Yeah.
What about you, Jarrett?
Is he
I don't
gone?
know.
Maybe
Are you
gone.
gone, Jarrett? We can't hear you. Oh, he's muted. He's probably like
Jesus.
killing some dude. He's killing Letho right now.
No big
Uh,
deal.
yeah. Do you remember anything about the witches and stuff at the end there, Jacob?
No, not really. The end of the game is still a total blur to
Yeah,
me, honestly.
I understand. I'll
Like
see if I can.
I was also trying to beat it before it came out. Didn't happen.
Like, I wish there were a good summary. Maybe there is of like just what happened in the Witcher 2, Witcher 2 ending, maybe. So let's see. I pulled something up. If Geralt decided to save Triss, he'll be given the option of killing the dragon or leaving it. Yorveth will be unconscious and surrounded by his soldiers, having gone to rescue Philippa and then badly hurt by her. That's right. That
Sorry,
happened.
I don't know what happened there.
You're fine. Geralt will have the option to walk away or leave Yorveth to the troops or attack them and tell Triss to save him. That's right. You have Triss teleport Yorveth out of there. She will say he is badly hurt and will take months to heal him. Philippa's dagger will be found nearby, though the dragon is long gone at that point. So if you save Philippa from the dungeon, he will automatically release the dragon from her control. Okay. He will not be given the option to kill the dragon. It should be noted this opens up additional dialogue as Saskia returns to her human form. Okay. Oh yeah, and then you can choose if Prince Stennis is killed. Let's see, shared choices. Let me see if I can find the thing about like the witches and stuff. If Geralt saves Sheila, Letho will mention she will be hunted by royal witch hunters and will likely die a slow death to them. That's why.
Yay.
If he leaves her to die, then Letho will say the Witcher showed her mercy. I didn't show her mercy. On either path, if Geralt saves Triss instead, the new Council of Sorcerers will be created, since Triss is the one to point out that Sheila was the traitor, and Nilfgaard is not present to incite hostilities. On either path, if Geralt does not save Triss, we didn't do that. After fighting the dragon, although if you don't save Triss, Letho saves Triss. After fighting the dragon, if Geralt decides to kill the dragon, then he will lament that she was enslaved by Lodge and reduced to a tool to do their bidding. If he does not kill the dragon, then he will reason, later explaining that dragons are exceedingly rare and the only one who deserves death was Philippa. That makes sense. No matter the path chosen, Geralt will ultimately have to choose to either kill Letho or let him walk away. It's the last action of the game. What did you do, Jarrett?
I I remember not letting Letho live.
Okay. Fair enough.
Which is funny because it's literally like no reason not to, really. Nothing really changes, but I was like, fuck you, dude.
Okay. I mean, fair enough.
Yeah.
I wanted to get back at him for all he put me through and kidnapping Tris and everything.
It was
Yeah,
like,
so
he's kind of the reason I'm here.
Yeah.
At this far away place doing stupid shit.
And
So, justice.
I don't know, like Witcher to Witcher, I was like, this shit's no.
Why you gotta be a dick about it?
Yeah, I'm putting an end to
But
it.
I mean, like, because you were hunting him, you got all the memories and stuff back.
Yeah, but that's
All
like, not
right,
like
Jacob. Really good justification.
it's not like a silver lining.
I mean, I let him live because, I mean, I think we can be friends.
I think he can definitely be useful later
Yeah.
on.
He's really my tool. Like the dragon was a tool.
So wasn't that like part of his appeal to you? Like, listen, I mean, there aren't many of us left, and people don't really know what we go through.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I ate that shit up. He played me like a fucking fiddle.
Yeah. What
Clearly.
we're saying is you're stupid, Jake.
What I'm saying is I'm a naive child.
So, I found a good like summary of like the events that happen no matter what. So it says no matter what, Nilfgaard is on the march toward the north to invade the northern kingdoms. Letho
Right.
was employed by Nilfgaard to kill the kings of the northern kingdoms, to soften them up and cause chaos and disunity for the coming invasion.
When you saved Triss, she kind of alludes to her hearing that.
Yeah, she tells you that pretty much. Letho used the Lodge of Sorceresses to cover to kill the kings because they initially had the same objective, albeit on a smaller scale. They wanted to kill Demavend because he was shown to be weak and volatile king. And they figured they could use the unrest to raise up Saskia as a new head of that nation that in the Pontar Valley that would be friendly to all elves and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But also because the sorcerers would have like influence over that nation. But after Demavend's death, Letho used the sorcerers' resources to contact the Scoia'tael and hide from the Idernian manhunt, and then he convinced them to help kill King Foltest and Henselt. So Letho fucked over the witches, the sorceresses.
What a guy.
He was pulling the strings all along. Sheila was sent to Flotsam after Foltest's death to eliminate Letho, but he was too clever for her. Geralt's memory is mostly restored by the end. He learns that Yennefer is in Vernenberg. Yennefer of Vernenberg's fate, and that she is alive somewhere in Nilfgaard. Her situation, the condition of her memory remain unknown. And then like the enhanced edition adds that bonus scene where you see the guy like in the forest hunting a hare, and then he like goes across a wood bridge and then sees a huge army of Nilfgaardian troops running toward the north, and that's how it ends. So there you go. So what do you guys think is going to happen in Witcher 3? I'm curious to hear your theory, Jarrett.
Yeah. Because you know The Witcher. You understand
Pretty
its
sure
lore.
now that he knows where Yennefer is, like his shit's all complicated now. I don't know how complicated it's gonna ever end up being, because you can spend the first 2 games pretty much like all about Triss,
Yeah.
and like my theory is that she is in Nilfgaard and also like doesn't really remember you. Like she also has some sort of amnesia or some shit, and that's the reason she never went to find you.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because
she's
there's
like
no
that.
reason someone that capable couldn't if she was looking. Or like listening, because like for the past couple years, all fucking Geralt's been doing is killing motherfuckers and like making a name for himself.
Yeah. And it's clear that her loyalty to Geralt is like on a level that we can't comprehend because what she gave up for him basically.
Right.
Which I think adds an interesting aspect to it.
and they both share, sort of surrogate parentage over Ciri, who's also running amok. Um, I'm sure what their shared like amnesia and sort of like missing time. I'm sure it all has to do with the wild hunt that's on the chase for Ciri. So like, I guess that's how they get together, and that's how like they start, hanging out as a team again. I wonder just how much the writing will address like the super awkward situation between like Triss
And
and
Yennefer.
Yennefer and Geralt now.
Oh man, I
Yeah.
want it so bad. I want that angsty Witcher drama.
And like,
Because like the two of them were homies, like her and Triss for a while.
yeah, they were like good friends, right?
Yeah.
Oh god, it's gonna get good.
And like the first, like one of the first shots of the game, like when they put out that first trailer, is like Geralt, Triss, and Yennefer on a boat together. So like it's gonna come, it's coming.
Yeah, it's got to come up. They can't
I
just let
feel
it
like
sit
it.
there.
I feel like
That
it's
shit's
gotta
awkward as fuck.
Yeah, and like I know because people have told me that the opening scene of The Witcher is like a flashback where he's like training Ciri, and Yennefer's there, and they're probably like boning or something.
Oh, they are. Did you see what's it? Conan played Witcher 3 for that Clueless Gamer series like last week, and they see
Okay,
that
see,
opening scene.
I haven't seen it. I've been told how it opens because
Yeah.
I wanted to see it for myself when I finally see it next week, which is not that far away now. And yeah, so like they'll set up kind of like an idea of why, or like the connection between Geralt and Yennefer. So I think they could probably work the awkwardness with Triss to new people pretty easily. Yeah, I'm really curious to see kind of like what happens, like where it goes next. Like I hope at least that a lot of it's about the Wild Hunt, because like I did a lot of reading because I was super fascinated by them, so I kind of have an idea of what they are, like physically. I'm not going to say because I think that's going to be a big part of The Witcher 3.
Well, I mean, as far as has been revealed, at least, in the games, they are definitely like a parade of like maybe extra dimensional, but at least like, supernatural dudes who show
Yeah.
up as like an omen, usually to war or some sort of hard strife, and like abduct people.
Yeah, to recruit into their ghostly army.
They're like ring race that only get bigger.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's like a really cool concept, and like they've shown like charges of the Wild Hunt like marching on villages in these trailers. So, and the King of the Wild Hunt just fucking killing dudes because that's what he does. And yeah, it's exciting because you got to imagine that hunt for Ciri, and you're going to be able to play as Ciri, kind of running from them for parts of the game as well. It's going to be really intense, and like 200 hours of stuff to do.
Yeah.
We're not going to be talking to anyone for a while, I think.
No.
Jacob and I just have to finish Bloodborne before then. That's the goal.
I'm stuck on fucking Gehrman.
Oh, okay.
And I know since I got the items and took them, so I know I'll have another boss after that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, you'll get it. Like, I would say, like, keep using those visceral attacks. That's the best way. If you get the old hunter's bone too, that helps as well.
I think I have that, but I don't have like the
The arcane stat to do it.
no.
Damn.
I invested fucking hardcore in strength and vitality,
Hell yeah, that's the way to do it.
which
Jacob.
really didn't help me right now because I'm just getting punched in my face.
Jacob, do you have any things you want to throw out there for Witcher 3?
No, I want to play it, but I don't really know. I think that hasn't already been said.
Yeah. God, I want to know what the fuck is going on in that scene they keep showing in every trailer where it's like the two naked girls like covered in blood, like feeding blood from their fingertips to one another. I'm like, what the fuck?
Wait, what kind of party is this?
What kind of orgy is happening where
I
this
assume
is...
it's a dandelion party.
Oh, goddamn right. He's probably going to see that shit. He's going to be like, whoa, we fucked up. I fucked up. Yeah, it's going to be cool. So that comes out next week. Maybe we will do a spoiler cast for that, talk about it, debrief. after we've sunk
next
a lot
year,
of
there's
time.
like a
Yeah,
100-hour
next
game.
year when we're
We should
finished
just
with it.
do it in chapter chunks. Like,
Uh,
here's chapter 1 Spoilercast. Here's chapter 2.
it's we definitely will probably have to talk about it since I hear the writing and everything is superb. So, which is kind of the par for the course with the series at this point. And yeah, I'm very excited. We're all excited. We've been like on this hype train since like I mean, Jarrett, in January last year, you wrote The Witcher 3 as your most anticipated of the year.
Yes.
So you've been
And I was
there.
like totally coming out, and they're like, we're moving it to next year. I was like, oh, right. They're like, I'm removing it to February. Okay. We're moving it to May. Fuck myself.
Well, it's gold. It's done. The reviews are out. Luckily, you
Yeah,
don't have to
people
wait
did it.
anymore.
It's real now.
It's real. You can
real.
preload it.
It's real to me. I can't preload it. I'm the space.
Oh, okay. Well, time to delete some stuff. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna preload it. Cool thing is too, like on Monday at like 5 p.m. Eastern, you can start playing it. So, because they're launching it in like Swedish time or Norwegian time, wherever they're from, Netherlands. I don't know.
Fuck they are.
Whatever.
Wherever CD Projekt Red is from, I'm gonna find out.
Poland.
Poland. There you go.
Holland.
Polish time.
Polish time.
Central European time. I don't know. But yeah, I'm excited. We'll talk about it again soon. I hope you guys like this. If you want more of any of us, you can follow each of us on Twitter. I'm at AlFighter27. Jared is at Jarrett John, because John is what you do.
It
And
is.
Jacob is Jacob B41. So look for our never-ending tweets about how much we are enjoying The Witcher 3, hopefully. And we will catch you guys. Jacob and I will be back soon enough for Life is Strange Spoilers Cast, if we can make time for it. Which I think there's always time for angst.
There's always time for angst. That's the motto of my life. There's always
And hopefully we'll get the Dream Team back together before The Wolf Among Us Season 2 starts. At some point. It's going to happen, though. And that's all we got for you. We will talk to you guys later.